When you meet someone better than yourself, turn your thoughts towards becoming his equal. When you meet someone not as good as you are, look within and examine your own self. That was said by Confucius. Very wise words indeed. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Surviving the Matrix. My name is Maxwell Igan. I will be your host for the next hour. Well, things are certainly escalating in leaps and bounds in the world today. On August 16th of this year, doctors were put on alert for a deadly disease linked to the swine flu vaccine. The Health Protection Agency has told neurologists to look out for a rise in Guillain-Barré syndrome, which is paralysis of the breathing muscles, which can cause death by suffocation. They've been told to look out for a rise in this disease when the vaccination starts within the next few weeks. The link was made following a mass immunization program in the US, in which swine flu vaccine was blamed for more deaths than the disease itself. This is something that doesn't really come as a surprise to most of us who are expecting all of these sorts of things to happen from the vaccine. Vaccines historically do produce a myriad of diseases and health defects. Very few of them actually do the job they're supposed to. A survey has also revealed that 1/3 of frontline nurses do not want the vaccine. The Department of Health Director of Immunisation, Professor David Salisbury, has said that nurses have a responsibility to be vaccinated against swine flu. And he made the statement after a Nursing Times survey revealed that 1/3 of frontline nurses do not want the vaccine. And these nurses are planning not to get immunised against the swine flu when the vaccine becomes available later this year. This is quite significant, folks. This is people on the front line saying they will not be having this vaccine. A friend of mine also spoke to a Homeland Security officer recently and asked him what he thought about the vaccine, and he looked at her quietly and simply said, "I would think very carefully before having the swine flu vaccine," and that came from a Homeland Security officer. Doctors treating swine flu patients have also been instructed to monitor the incidence of rare nerve disease that has been linked to the body's immune response to flu-like illness. Neurologists will study the occurrence of this disease because it affects the nervous system and can cause temporary paralysis during the swine flu pandemic and the vaccination program. This is where these diseases are coming from, folks. They're coming from the vaccines. Do not take the swine flu vaccine. Now, last week I was mentioning to you that I was taking papers to the Australian Police Force to try to start some sort of charges and legal action against the introduction of mandatory vaccinations in Australia. I've since heard back from the local police. They say they are unable to do anything. They say it's interesting, but they're unable to do anything on a state level, and if I wish to pursue the matter, I need to go to the federal police or the federal prosecutor's office, something that I simply can't afford to do at this particular stage, but I'm still looking into what options I have. Things have been very strange on the Jane Burgermeister front. I've been hearing mixed reports from all over the place. So it's turning into something very strange. But I'm just sort of stepping back and observing things at the moment to see where the situation is going to go, what it's evolving into. Still trying to figure out what's real information and what's disinformation, as is so often the case in these type of actions that happen. So I'm still looking into that, folks. I've reserved all opinion at this stage. I'm still looking into what's actually going on. I've also had people asking me about Global Non-Compliance Day. people saying, what can we hope to achieve with global non-compliance just for a day? If everybody stays home and doesn't open their wallets or spend any money that day, what can we hope to achieve? Well, folks, it's not going to change the world. I'll give you that straight away. I mean, it's not going to change the world, obviously. But what I hope to achieve, and also bear in mind that this isn't my event, it isn't something that I've organised, it's simply something that's been organised by a member of Facebook and something that I wish to support because I think it has integrity. What I see as the whole point of Global Non-Compliance Day is a unification of the people. That's what I see it achieving. I mean, how many people are we going to get on this first event? What we might get 1,000, we might get 2,000, we might even get 3,000. But whatever we get, I mean, it's a drop in the bucket. It's a drop in the bucket of the 6.5 billion people that exist in the world. But it's a start. And for people to simply know that there are another 1,000 people around the world doing the same thing as what they're doing on that day, it's an empowering thing. And eventually, we might get more people next month, and we might get more people the month after. What it's about is creating unity. What it's about is creating a feeling of empowerment in the general population. You know, just a feeling of that, a feeling of, hey, we can do this, we did this, look what we did, we got together, all of us, we all did the same thing. We all made a stand. That's what it's about. And eventually we'll get more and more people involved in this thing. And there might be people out there who think, well, non-compliance is a nice idea, but I'm a shop owner. I can't not comply. I can't not open my business. Well, that's sort of looking at things from a monetary perspective, but maybe, you know, I can appreciate that maybe there would be people that would think like that. But once we get enough people involved in this action of non-compliance, well, then there's not going to be any point in people opening their business because nobody's going to come. If nobody comes and spends any money that day, if we have the 25th of every month or whenever it's going to be organised, if no one actually goes and spends any money that day, then people won't bother opening their businesses eventually because there simply won't be any point because they won't have any customers. That's what it's all about. I mean, eventually it's going to develop into something really big, I feel, I really do. And you imagine the whole world just says, no, we will not participate on this day every month. It would send economic shockwaves around the world. It absolutely would. So that's what I think will be achieved through Global Non-Compliance Day. I believe it will be a feeling of empowerment and unity, and it will give confidence and build the morale of people who wish to make a stand against the corruption in our societies. That's what I think it will achieve, and so therefore I think it's a good thing. Now, getting back to the swine flu debate a little bit, something that has been brought to my attention is that in the charges that have apparently been filed by Jane Burgermeister is a clause in there somewhere that talks about, well, it includes Barack Obama. It accuses Barack Obama of being involved in the whole Baxter thing. I believe Barack Obama is a shareholder in Baxter, so there's definitely some sort of complicity there. But the problem with Americans, any American people who are thinking of filing these charges, you've got to be very careful because it's actually against the law in America to accuse the president of a crime. So therefore you can't press charges against Barack Obama. You can impeach the president, but you can't press charges against him. That is considered treason, I believe. So I would be very careful, anyone in America who is looking at filing some of these charges, to remove Barack Obama's name from any of the evidence or any of the charges you are thinking of filing. I personally believe that one of the best things and one of the best initiatives that has been started through all of this swine flu debacle is the Facts to Stop the Vax initiative. I think that is a very, very good idea simply because it directs its attention towards the police and the military. Now, it is the police and the military who will be used to carry out any forced vaccinations, should this occur, should forced vaccinations be introduced, it will be the police and military who are carrying out these vaccinations. And so it's very important, I believe, to approach these people and to do it on a human level. Don't be afraid of the uniform, folks. Just realize that the people you're talking to are simply people. That's it. They're just people. Their family, their friends, their children, their mothers and fathers are all at danger from this vaccine as much as they are and as much as you are. So I think it's very important to approach these people. And folks, you've really got to look at the history of vaccinations. You've really got to look at some of the damage that these things do.